Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the new assistance available for small business as part of the assistance that the government is providing for the recent lockdown in New South Wales. And for recording purposes, anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Suzanne Walker and I'm the founder of and director of Clearpath Accounting based at Blaxland. So there's quite a number of things that we're going to go through today. We're going to go through the new assistance available for micro businesses, the new cash boost for New South Wales businesses, the extension of the New South Wales business grants available through Service New South Wales. We're going to go through how to calculate your revenue difference or the drop in revenue. And that determines your eligibility. We'll go through other eligibility criteria for small business. We'll also go through the criteria for the tourism and hospitality sector, which is a little bit more relaxed because they're affected so much. There's an extension on payroll tax relief. We'll go through to quickly cover through the disaster payments available for people that have lost hours. So as small business owners, you may have staff members that have been affected or you've had to reduce your team members' hours. So talking about and making sure they know what disaster payments are available to them would be critical. There's new rent relief options available to both residential and commercial tenants. We'll just cover quickly, mention the Dine and Discover vouchers. I'll talk about what next steps you need to take, and then we'll have some questions. So under the new micro business grant, this is available for business owners that have turnover between 30,000 and 75,000. So they're not registered for GST. There is one disclaimer that I must provide you, and that is that the business income is their primary source of income. So if you have a full-time job plus a business on the side, more than likely you won't be eligible to receive the grant. This business must demonstrate that they've got a 30% reduction in revenue, and we'll talk about how to calculate that soon. You'll need a statement from your accountant to confirm that loss in revenue. Your business obviously primarily operates in New South Wales, and that's all parts of New South Wales, it's not just Sydney. You will receive a grant of up to $1,500 per fortnight. Okay, and they have backed it, and this is while we're in lockdown. Now, they've actually decided to backdate this grant to week 1 of lockdown. So as soon as you can hit that 30% reduction, you make that application and then they'll backdate the payments for you. So the new cash boost available for New South Wales business. So this is only available after the 4th week of lockdown. So we're in week 3, I believe. I think week 4 is next week. And the payments are only paid until the lockdown finishes. So if we're in lockdown for 2 weeks, basically, or 6 weeks, sorry, the first 4 weeks, there's no support, and the next 2 weeks, you will be eligible for support. So depending on how long that lockdown lasts, depends on how much you receive here. So this is actually available for non-employing businesses and employing businesses. Now, the non-employing businesses are people like your sole traders. They don't have a team member. They don't have other team members. But their funding will be capped at $1,000 per week. Okay. So any employer with obviously with more than one employees, they will receive a cash boost between $1,500 and $10,000 a week. All right. Now, the turnover of these businesses must be at least between 75,000 and 50 million. So that gives us quite a large scope for eligibility. The business must prove at least a 30% drop in revenue also, and that's just over a 2-week period. All right. The payments are going to be based on 40% of your payroll or your wages. So they at minimum between from $1,500 to a maximum of $10,000, but it's based on 40% of your payroll. One of the conditions is that you maintain your full-time, part-time and long-term casual employees, and that level is measured as of 2 days ago on the 13th of July. Now, you'll need to register your interest for this, and that's through Services New South Wales, and that was open, well, I've got today there, but it was open yesterday. So as soon as you think, or as I would be saying to you, register your interest. If you have any type of drop in revenue, then you've just got to wait till it meet that 30%, and then the application process can begin. We still don't know how the payments are going to be made and what sort of reporting that you may need to do. We have no idea about that. But as soon as I do know, I'll send out an email just to update you. Okay, so there was business grants available for New South Wales businesses, and that was released a few weeks ago, but they've just changed the amount of payments, which I think is a really good idea. So if your turnover has dropped by 70%, you are now entitled to $15,000 lump sum payment. That was originally $10,000, so it's gone up by 5, which is great to see. If your turnover dropped by between 50 and 70%, then you're entitled to $10,500, and that was originally $7,500. If your turnover dropped between 30 and 50%, then you are entitled to a lump sum of $7,500, and that was originally $5,000. So there's been, quite a big increase in these lump sum grants. Although I would say it's not going to, cure the business cash flow problems, but it is something available for them. So this is available to small businesses, sole traders, and not-for-profit organisations, and the grants should be used for business expenses such as rent, utilities, wages, whatever. Well, I don't know what audit activity will occur there to check whether it's used for business expenses, but just make sure if you do receive the money, it doesn't go straight back out to you in one lump sum. These grants will be available from the 19th of July, which is Monday. So I don't believe that the application process is open yet. So I'm sure the website will crash on Monday. All right. How is your drop in revenue measured? It's only measured over a 2-week period. So you can start that measurement from lockdown date, which is the 26th of June. So that means our first fortnight measurement period has already passed. So from the 26th of June to the 10th of July, I would start measuring. And I would also measure every single week, measure that fortnight every week for at least the month of July, so that as soon as you can meet that 30% minimum criteria for both the grant and the cash boost, then you can start the application process. Now, your drop period or that comparison period is the equivalent time from 2019. So it's 2 years ago, it's not from last year. Okay. Now, with the 30%, there's 2 ways, there's 2 things I would look at when measuring. I would say to you, as soon as you hit the 30% measurement or drop in revenue, apply for your cash boost, so the 40% of your wages. If you believe that your revenue is going to drop more than 30%, you may want to wait to see what cash boost you can be available to you. So if you've already hit 70%, apply for the New South Wales grant and the cash boost. But if you believe that you've just hit kind of 30%, you're able to apply for the cash boost, but you may think, if you believe that you're going to go, your revenue is going to drop further, then you may want to wait a little while and then apply so that you can get the maximum amount of the New South Wales grant. So with the New South Wales grants, there's two streams available. One's for small business in general and the other for tourism and hospitality, which I went through last time. So basically with the small business eligibility, your turnover must be more than 75,000. The wages must be below the payroll tax threshold of 1.2 million. You've got fewer than 20 full-time equivalent employees. You'll need a statement from your accountant to confirm that loss in revenue, plus your business primarily operates in New South Wales. For the tourism and hospitality sector, your turnover must be, again, more than 75,000, but your wages must be below $10 million. So they're making this more available for those in the tourism and hospitality sector. Again, you'll need a statement from your accountant to confirm your loss in revenue, and then your business primarily operates in New South Wales. So with the payroll tax, there's two extensions here, so or two relief packages basically. Number one, the first one was the due date for the lodgement and payment of your annual payroll tax reconciliation. Now, originally 2 weeks ago, they extended the date to the end of August. Now they've made it a further extension till the 7th of October. You also have the option to defer your July and August payroll tax payments till the 7th of October. So that means in September, on the 7th of October, your July, August and September payroll tax will be due, plus the reconciliation and payment of your 2021 annual statement or reconciliation. So those two things, they're optional. If you do have the cash, you may not want that deferral, so just pay it as you normally would. And this deferral option is available to all businesses in New South Wales, whether they've had a reduction in revenue or not. The other thing is that the payroll tax for this quarter will be reduced by 25% if you can prove a 30% decline in revenue. So that means those that are eligible for the cash boost, those that are eligible for the New South Wales grant, they will also be eligible to, as a one-off, 25% reduction for the payroll tax for this current quarter. Now, that's available for businesses in New South Wales with wages between 1.2 million and $10 million. So disaster payments. So if you have unfortunately needed to lay off some staff or reduce their hours, there is assistance available to them, and they've made this more accessible as well. So those who lost more than 20 hours per week, they will now receive a $600 payment per week. That was originally $500. Now they've extended it further to those who have lost between 8 hours and 20 hours. They will receive a payment of $375 per week. This is available to all New South Wales workers, not just in Sydney, and the workers will need to apply through their MyGov account. Apparently the reporting was onerous previously for these disaster payments, and they have eased that off. So there's no need to claim on a weekly basis anymore. All right, let's talk about rent relief. So retailers really should work with their landlords if they need a rent reduction or a rent deferral. They'll need to provide evidence to the landlord to show that they've got that reduction in revenue. And if it's anything like the last time that rent relief was available, a minimum of 30% might be a good guide. But if you're particularly struggling for other reasons or you can't prove that 30%, negotiate with your landlord anyway. They haven't specifically said you've got to meet 30%, but it was a good guide for last time. For the landlords that do provide their tenants with rent relief, and that could be commercial or residential, they will receive a dollar for dollar land tax rebate. So for every dollar of relief that they've provided their tenant, they will be provided that dollar in land tax as a rebate. And I'm guessing it'll be capped to their land tax bill. Okay, so there is also new residential tenancy protection rules. You cannot be evicted for the next 60 days. So if you're having trouble paying your residential rate, you've got some period of time to fix that. So the workers, so if you want rent relief from your residential landlord, they can't evict you for 60 days if you can show that your income was reduced by 25%. Now, if landlords do give rent relief, they will also be provided with a $1,500 payment from the state government for their kindness, I suppose, and their assistance. And I believe that might be through Services New South Wales. I'm not really sure there. Okay, Dine and Discover vouchers. Look, I just thought I'd keep this as a discussion topic. They are still valid till the end of August. Now, I would say watch this space to see if there is any further extensions. I don't know, but they can be used for takeaway. So you must go into the business premises, use your QR code to pick up the food. All right, it's not for delivery. So your next steps, grants will be paid from the New South Wales grants. They will be paid from the 19th of July. So that's Monday. The cash boost, the new cash boost provisions, they will be activated next week. I can't tell you when the payments are going to be made at this point, and I don't know whether it's going to be paid on a weekly basis, a month basis, or however it is. I'm not sure yet. Don't forget the assessment of your drop in revenue should be compared to July 2019, so 2 years ago, not last year. Ask your accountant for help. They're there to help you. And they will need to provide some type of evidence, and usually that would be a letter to confirm that drop in revenue. We've had some questions to say that what if I wasn't in business 2 years ago? I don't know whether they're giving an alternative period of time to compare, and I'll have to investigate that, but I'll let you know. So if you do have a new business that you cannot compare to 2019, then I know last time they had alternative periods of comparison, but I can't tell you whether that's available at this point in time. You'll need to apply for the grant, the New South Wales grant, through Service New South Wales website using your own login and your password. Your accountant cannot do that for you. And you should also register your interest for the new cash boost as soon as possible, and that's already available. So I believe you can just go to the website, put in your details, and then as an update comes, I believe that you'll be notified by Service New South Wales. And if you are experiencing significant loss in revenue or financial hardship, do approach your landlord, approach your bank and your financial institution to see how they can help you. And let's hope that we can really recover quickly from this lockdown. Okay, so has anyone got any questions for me about either the grants, the cash boost, or the eligibility criteria? You can unmute yourself if you do.
In terms of the 2-week period you're measuring against, is it, you said from the 26th of June, is it that 2-week period and then a second 2-week period, or is there just one payment
You
for
can
a
literally
2 week?
decide, so you get to decide what 2-week period. So this is what I think makes the measurement a little bit confusing. So you could choose from the 1st of July to the 14th of July. You could choose, you know, they're not stipulating what 2 weeks at this point, not that I know of anyway. And I know last time with the New South Wales grant, that was probably one of the most challenging parts of measuring, because it could be just timing of issuing invoices that allows you to open that door. So it's, you know, I would say take some time to work that out, choose your 2 weeks wisely, and then open whatever door for this opportunity to get some assistance, because we don't know whether we're going to go in lockdown again. I have a true belief that you should access whatever assistance possible for your business, just to give it longevity and a little bit of financial, you know, backing.
So to summarise, it's a selected period of 2 weeks, which you can choose, and there's one payment regardless of, even if there's 4 weeks of reduction, it's just the 1 2 week period.
So the 2 week period is only used to measure that 30%. So once you tick that 30%, the door is now open for assistance. So depending on how long we're in lockdown, for the New South Wales grant, it's a lump sum dollar. So 30%, you'll get 7,500. If you can prove higher, that's why I'm saying be careful there. If you believe that your revenue is going to drop further than 30%, maybe take a little bit of time to say, okay, well, we might get to 50%, so let's just hold off. I don't think they're going to close the doors on those that New South Wales grant quickly. I think they'll have that available at least, you know, even after July. With the New South Wales boost, as soon as you hit 30% for that 2 week period, apply. You've only got a very short period of time to get that assistance, and that is during lockdown. So we have to wait for the 4 week lockdown with no support, and then whatever the lockdown is after that, it might be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Let's hope not, but whatever that is, that's what you. That's the only time you'll get the support. Any other questions? No, I think that's it. Well, thank you. Anil, can you stop recording?